Welcome back to Being Black Living Green. I just wanted to kind of talk about why I believe that FBAs should reclaim their birthright by buying land in America. A lot of us during the Great Migration went up north. Our families did. We partook even in advancing music with the Renaissance, the Black Renaissance era in Harlem and St. Louis and Chicago, all of these places. But it left us open and exposed. It left our lands open and exposed. And I can't imagine what our ancestors were going through when they decided to leave. Because one of the major reasons was the disbursement of our cities. They tell us to go back where you came from, but the majority of us come from here. The majority of us are originals from here. Not just indigenous, but originals from here. And it appeared that we had no foundation. So we even with that tried to make our own by having our own cities, and those were torched or put underwater or dispersed. Our ancestors endured the best way that they knew how. A lot of our people still kept some access to their family plots and things, like my family did. So I am also part Caddo Indian and Seminole. I was told of that by my grandmother. So we did what we had to do. We made new cities, but the powers that be became jealous and took down those cities, over 300 of those. So it was definitely planned for us not to have. But even in that, we still made progress. We still were groundbreakers. We still did amazing, amazing things. And I don't ever want to, be so bold as to try and wonder why a lot of our ancestors left their lands. The movie Sinners comes to mind when I can't remember which brother, but he was trying to tell the guitar player to go. I thought that was genius, the way Ryan Coogler put that in the film. You should go to this freedman town. And now we know the term freedman was another term for Indian or originals or indigenous. But anyway, he said to go to the freedman town because he shouldn't want to go up north because there's nothing there for him, thinking that that freedman town would be safe. So you can see, it's like we were watching a film about a period piece, and in that period piece, we knew something that the brother didn't know, that they were going to even come after that or in the future, and we know some things. We know some things, so we have the understanding and the fortitude that our forefathers did not have in the certain ways, that the laws and things like that were not on their side. And now some laws are not on our side, but we have been living long enough now to know how to strategically gather and do a thing. So with that, we can take the knowledge from who we were and who we are, And we can go back to some of those places, and some of those places that we probably haven't even looked into could be even pennies, or even just a matter of paying taxes on to get back. If you know where you are from, then that's fine. But I do believe that just as it was important for us to get education, for us to get knowledge and understanding, sometimes the hard way, it's just as important for us to remember our roots and remember where we have come from, and have the land so that we can always have somewhere to go back to. Not saying that you may want to stay there indefinitely, and some people may. You may even pay someone from the family to take care of that land. You know, you have to get a committee together and maybe figure out how or how you're going to do that. But it can be done. It's important for us to reclaim also what we have lost in skill. We have been told a certain thing that, education, and we did get this Babylonian education. We understand certain things, and certain things were beneficial. But we can't lose our spiritual heritage and those things that connects us to earth. We need to make sure that we stay connected to our ancestors. And no matter what religion you may or may not be of, in honor of whatever you do, but we were definitely still a people of this earth. We took care of this earth. We took care of this land. And it's important for us to know how to bond with it, know how to sanctify it, know how to restore it, know what not to do, and be very respectful of it, because we were the first caretakers here. So in that, maybe even everyone can pick a thing. Maybe someone knows how to make baskets. Instill that into the youth. Don't throw that away just because we've learned how to do something in the corporate world. I want us to understand that the balance of those things are just as valuable, the things from our heritage. So I say that to say, you might live in a high rise, but we also need to know where we've come from, and we need to regain those lands, because when we don't have those lands, or maybe you don't even know where you come from, but you have some sort of a country plot. When you don't regain those lands and reclaim those things, others come in behind you that they have allowed to overtake, and they have no problem picking up where we left off. The foundation is already there. So we have to take responsibility and get back to what we used to know. Talk to your elders in your family. You know, because of the way we were dispersed and because of the things that have happened, a lot of our families aren't close. And in that case, there's someone at your job, your place of employment, that may know things from the olden times, from the old days. Start kind of jotting things down and start kind of researching certain things. Start even learning about original culture, or if you want to call it indigenous culture, so that you can start familiarizing yourself with the things that we did. You know, this land gave to us, and we gave to the land as well. And you can tell that it's calling us back. And I, so wish that we would heed the call. I do think that we are. 10 years ago, when I started this journey, there there was no one really like me. Now there's lots of channels out there with people that are us. They may or may not know that they are foundational Black Americans or indigenous. But I'm happy to see, and they have inspired me to say my truth and my piece. But I have a lot of work even to do here, but it doesn't deter me. I absolutely love this way of life. And a lot of people that I talk to, even in my family, they say they understand, but I don't think that they really do. But I will say that they have not lost that foundational, they still know how to grow things. You know, they still have that green thumb. They still know how to build things. But, you know, in a certain generation, it's kind of missing when everything is about gaining the dollar. And I can understand that because our whole people, we were in a state of lack for a long time. But we want to make these things, having land, just as important as having a piece of property in the city. Just as we want the best products at the store, the Whole Foods, we want to make sure that we also know how to grow our own things, okay? Just as we were indoctrinated with religion, and that's fine, we also want to go back to our roots and reconnect with spirit in an indigenous way as well. So it's just so beautiful. I think I'll be doing these type of talks regularly. I'm on my sister's, this tree right here is her healing tree, and she grounds with that tree. She lays on her makeshift, this is a real nice little bed that she had, but she waterproofed it, and she lays and she puts her feet on the tree to ground herself. And it's so ingenious. And we have the bell here. It's so peaceful. That's so peaceful. And sometimes I can come out here and I can just pray. So it's important to reconnect with things that may be different or outside of our comfort zone, trying to learn. It's not just enough to say, you know, my grandmother told me I was Indian, or they never told me I was a slave. You understand that there were some people that came over that way. And I even have, I think, lineage that came over that way as well, but it was not near as the amount as they say that it was. So, but it's not just enough to say, you know, that you have Indian, quote unquote, in you. It's about figuring out what that's about, figuring out why it's important to reconnect with the land. You know, there's some people that have grown up in cities and they have never seen the wide open spaces. So it's a blessing. We used to be ashamed to be from the South. You know, we would go home and visit or whatever, but all of our connections are to that old way, okay? And you don't even have to be from the South. You could be from Delaware. You can be from, we were all over, Utah, anywhere. We were all over originally. But what I'm saying is that lifestyle, we tend to be embarrassed of it. So we're reclaiming it, and we're not any longer going to be embarrassed of it. And I think certain things that happen and it sidetracks us, whether it's the African boycott or whatever, it's really about us remembering. And these little things that happen makes us remember. And we don't allow people to dictate and say that we have no culture or whatever. We know who we are, and it's coming back to our memory of who we were. And we're asking the questions that we need to ask and doing the research. So I just wanted to say that, and I want you to remain diligent and just think about reclaiming, even if you don't have money to do that, even just learning how to grow things in pots, learning the seasons and the art of growing, because it's more than just putting a seed in the ground. That's 50%. But it's also learning how to care for a thing, and that's what our people knew how to do. So I say that to you, and I just wish you a great day, and I'll come back to you soon. Bye-bye.